Hello, beautiful people. Honest Am here, the creator of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot. I use God and cousins in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop Charlemagne the God, it will not stop me. All right, y'all. Angel number 22. Let's get into it. God, what messages do you deem worthy for us to hear at this time to help bring heaven on earth, to become the alchemists of our lives, or just to do magic in public? If any of my subscribers or viewers, ancestors, guardian angels, or beings of light would like to step in, no, I'm clear and open vessel. Beings of light only. Ashe. Angel number 47. Make sure you check out the description box below. There are always additional guidance, angel messages, as well as information about booking at honestlysis.com. All right, guys. Advancement. I feel like we got this message before. Underneath this is advancement. Underneath this. Let's start at the top. Angel number 106. At the top, God is saying signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. Underneath this is advancement. A strong energy is propelling you forward. Follow the strings of your heart. So, guys, you know that I'm always talking about us trying to take advantage of being in this new decade, taking advantage of this Aquarian age, and moving into this new era and like this new way of being. As you guys know, that April, was it December 21st was like this quote unquote big day, but it really was like the slate was wiped clean. And so here in January, here as you move forward, if you have been just seeing signs, like say for example, let me just give you an example of how God works with the signs. I've always wanted to, I always wanted to be an actress when I was younger. I never even thought about being a director, but I always wanted to be an actress. And when I first started my journey to healing, I used to always focus on the fact that I never tried to be an actress. I never was a theater major. Like I just focused on what my mom wanted me to do, and I became an auditor. And so as I was an auditor, the way, when I was just super miserable and I was praying for God, I asked God to please, help me and to just give me something, and I would just follow it. And what happened was a couple of weeks later, Whitney Houston died. And when Whitney Houston died, I got this idea for my manuscript. And so for the last 7 years, I have been working on my manuscript. I just finished it. Thank you, Jesus. And what I realized was as I was working throughout the process of my manuscript, I realized like I really love writing. Like I don't know, like I've always been a big writer. Like I've always been somebody who would write letters to my boyfriends or do something like that. But I never thought that it was like something that I was really supposed to be doing for my life. Like there's Oprah always says, look over your life. Your life is always leaving you clues. So if I was actually looking over my life, it makes sense that I'm a writer now. But anyway, so I always wanted to do that. And as I was like doing this book, I always thought I would only have one book idea. But all of a sudden, like, I think, as we know, like A-list started coming out, but all of a sudden I started getting this hankering for like directing. And one day I was driving and like this movie idea just kept stalking me. Like it was stalking me. Angel number 330. And like I literally had to like pull over and just write it down. Like literally, this is a notebook. Like I literally just pulled over and like, I wonder if I can find it. I'm trying to see. You know what? I'm not even gonna find it. Of course, I can't find it now. But anyway, so I was like just driving and like this idea just kept like stalking me. And I literally was like, you know what? I'm just going to, oh, here it is. So like this idea just kept stalking me, and literally like the idea kept stalking me. Angel, it was on April 17th, 2020. And I need to actually mark that because I'm going to write this up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to write this up. Angel number 420. So anyway, so I was like, this idea was stalking me. So I wrote it down. And I was just like, that's so random. Like, why would I get this movie idea? Like, how the fuck am I possibly going to be able to make this movie? And so a couple of weeks ago, I was like woken up at like 3:30 in the morning. And I go on my IG and Jhene by the Wood was like, pretty much like on her IG, she had this post saying that she was having this conversation with Sundance. So of course I'm like, yes, sign me up for it. I want to hear about it. But of course on the day of, I'm working, and like, even though I saw my email, it was like I started getting into work, but something told me like, Amber, don't forget about that conversation. I promise y'all I'm getting there. So I go to this, this conversation with Sundance, and like Gina Bythewood pretty much like gave me an idea of how I could create a movie without having like the Hollywood funding. Like she just was like, oh, do this. And I was like, well, she was just like, do a short. And I was like, oh my God, I never realized that I could do a short and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, God will give you nudges and signs. Like, but it's like, it's on you to actually act on it. Like I woke up and I didn't just go back to sleep. I woke up and I probably shouldn't have been on my Instagram, but God knew I was going to go on my Instagram and he allowed me to see that post. God knew that I was going to get caught up into my work, but for something, he put it on me to make sure I didn't remind it because he wanted me to hear how I was going to make this movie. And ever since then, I've been determined, like after I finish my book, the next thing I'm working on is after I finish my book, the next thing I'm working on is the movie. So I feel like God, I say all that to say that you have to be willing to go and listen to your intuition and your urges, because that is how it's ultimately going to get you to where you want to be. Like God is not going to give you the plan all the way off the back. Like I never even thought about being a director, but now I'm like, that's my end goal. My end goal is to be a writer, director, actress. Like that's where I want to be at the end. And I would have never got that if I never would have went on this journey. And I feel like God is asking you to go through the same way. Yeah, maybe you felt like you didn't have the right major, or you didn't go the right way in school, but God is saying that everything that you have done have gotten you to this point. So you are exactly where you need to be, but now it's on you to allow yourself to follow those signs and to follow your truth. See the light, know your power, and have the courage to walk your truth. So God is asking you to trust the signs that you're seeing, walk in your truth, take advantage of this energy of advancement so that you can bring your life and your dreams about. The life of your dreams about. All right, let's get one card out here to just clarify. God, clarify this message of signs, advancement, and truth. God, what do you want us to know? How can we trust our intuition? How can we trust the signs and the synchronicities that's happening in our life? God, what advice do you have for us for walking in our power so that we can bring about the life that we truly desire? Make it as plain as possible, God. Angel number 720. As plain as possible. Well, that can't... Legacy of light, and angel number 730, new birth, guard it vigilantly. This is the card I'm going to read for you guys. Angel number 24. I feel like we got this card before. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like we got this card before. But we're going to read it anyway. Angel number 740. In every creative process, in every birth, in every opening of a new phase of life, there is a time of vulnerability. This vulnerability is natural and appropriate. It is the foe learning to become steady on its legs. Those legs will become remarkably powerful in time, but the process of growth and maturity has to take place, and that requires some wobbling first attempts. It cannot be any other way. Within you, perhaps even below the level of your consciousness awareness, there is new life. There is fresh new life emerging with a vibrant green shoot rising up from the earth. This new life is in need of your attention and care. This could be a new relationship that needs tending with interest and kindness. It could be a new idea that you need to nurture into fullness because it is going to hold special purpose for your life path. It might be something within you, a new behavior, a new way of looking at yourself, or a new way of being in the world that you need to tend to until it becomes more natural for you to embody. This is most significantly so if you did That's talking about another card we didn't draw. Pay appropriate attention to these messages. If you've drawn a card, blah, blah, blah. Being careless now is akin to killing off the idea before it has a chance to grow strong enough to withstand the criticism, jealousy, or sabotage by dark consciousness in others or yourself. We don't have to be frightened of destructive energy. It exists in nature and in us and is a part of life. We do, however, need to be intelligent to its potential power and stay centered in our hearts and in our wisdom to avoid its ill effects upon that which we are nurturing into life. You will not always need to cloak that which is young. Soon enough, it will be able to stand up for itself, but for now, your vigilance and care is most certainly required. Hug your ideas to yourself as though there were a new lover you cannot bear to share with another. In time, the world will be the lover receiving the love in your idea. For now, it is for you to love, for you to hold, and for you to observe. Only allow those proven to be trustworthy to support you in this, those who can handle the frequency or vibration of what you are seeking to nurture. Some may love you, but be frightened of what you are creating. Stay true to yourself and your creative power, and be wise as to whom you invite into your inner sanctum to witness this new life emerging. This oracle also brings particular guidance about keeping your inner sanctuary pure. This may be your home, a sacred place you visit, or your own body into which you retreat in relaxation or meditation. Sometimes you will find that others have taken up residence in your sanctuary, perhaps an argument that you cannot let go of, or has another living in your head. A suffering that has been acknowledged or released can feel like a big, old, dirty suitcase of emotional baggage cluttering up the temple space of your heart. It is time to focus on the purity, light, love, and compassion that dwells within you. Everything else will come and go. That is just fine. But the purity within your sanctuary is eternal. You can come back to it to refresh your spirit and gain resources to help you deal with the rest of the world and even your own darker moments anew. It will give you the peace and spaciousness of mind you need to recognize the new life and to compassionately but firmly denounce any intrusion upon that new life by doubt, fear, or sabotage. Angel number 1120. And so to wrap up this beautiful message, God is saying that yes, the signs that you have been seeing is true. Yes, this new life is meant for you, but he is asking for you to guard it very vigilantly. Don't run to the rooftops and tell everybody what you're doing. Trust me, y'all. I told people about my book and they was asking me for 7 years, where your book? Where your book? Where your book? Keep it to yourself until it's ready to fully come about. God is saying that this is all being supported for you. God is letting you know that your crown is bought and paid for because you come from a legacy of light. So continue to walk into your truth and allow this energy of advancement and allow this energy of advancement to propel your hearts to your true heart's desires. All right, y'all, that's all the messages I have for you. If it was beneficial, please give me a thumbs up or put your key takeaways down below. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Please, please, please create consciously and wisely. Namaste. See you around, y'all.